I've been managing my personal, business and family finances since 2017. And I can definitely attribute that skill to achieving some of my financial goals, such as buying a property or having zero debts. I think the lack of financial education in our school systems plays a huge role in why so many people struggle with that, live paycheck to paycheck, or simply don't know how to save and invest for their future. I think of my son, who is currently 7 years old, and what I could share with him once he grows up. I want him to have the tools and knowledge to make smart financial decisions from an early age, something many of us had to figure out the hard way. And over the years, I've learned a lot about what works and what doesn't when it comes to personal finance. And so in this video, I'm going to share those lessons so you could build a solid financial foundation that lasts. Now, a quick backstory. Back in 2017, I lived in another country. It was my first experience of immigration, and at that time, I genuinely had no idea how much money I was making or had or spent, which sounds funny, but let me explain. See, most people probably have a personal bank account, maybe a joint account, maybe a credit card, or maybe some online wallet like a PayPal. And I had basically double of that amount because I lived sort of between the two countries, and I also had an extra business account, so overall it has more than 10 or even more different accounts. On top of that, I had different income streams from my music career, and they were pretty inconsistent and coming up from different directions. For example, music royalties, they were coming once every 3 months on a, let's say, PayPal account, and some other income streams were coming to my Stripe account, others on my business bank account, so overall it was quite a mess, especially since it was spread across different countries. Plus, I had some subscriptions set up also from different accounts, let's say maybe a Dropbox account coming up from my PayPal, and other subscriptions coming up from my bank account, so overall it was quite a mess. That's when I came to the idea of tracking my income and expenses, which over the years turned into a regular habit, and I'm glad it did. You might think you know how much you spend, but you actually don't until you start tracking. Now, these days, most online banking apps allows you to see all your tracking and spending and breaking down by category, which is pretty handy. And if you have just one, your personal bank account, maybe a joint account, that might be just enough for you. However, if you have a little bit more complexity, maybe different accounts and bank accounts and other online wallets like PayPal and Stripe and others, you might need a special app or even a spreadsheet. There are plenty of financial tracking apps around, and I encourage you to try different ones and see which one you like. Personally, I'm using the app called Money Pro, and it is the app that I've been using all those years, though this video is not an ad, just sort of my personal preference or recommendation, if you will. Now, to get a real and clear financial picture, I would highly recommend tracking your expenses and income for at least 1 year. This will allow you to take into the account all the seasons. Maybe in the winter season, you have extra bills for heating, and maybe in the summer season you go for extra vacation. So this is why by tracking expenses for at least 1 year, you'll get a full picture. And once you have that honest data, you can then sort your income into 3 main buckets, which are fundamentals, fun, and future. Fundamentals are likely your rent, bills and groceries. Fun is shopping, eating out and entertainment, all your subscriptions and maybe travel as well. And future is education, savings and investments. As a minimum, I'd say you want fundamentals to take no more than 70% of your overall income, with another 30% spread evenly across fun and future. Obviously, if just 50% of your income or less is enough to cover fundamentals, that's great. That means you can distribute more into fun or future. However, on the other side, if let's say 90% of your income comes into fundamentals, that's probably a bit worrying sign that you either need to lower down your sort of base level, your needs of fundamentals, or increase your income. This is why it's so crucial to track your finances for a long period of time, so you would have all this raw data, all those numbers, and you would know your baseline and also could make smarter financial decisions. You know, as they say, you can't manage something that you don't measure. And what I found is that sorting money into those 3 buckets has enormous benefits. Firstly, knowing your fundamental costs allows you to see how much actually you can spend or invest in other things and whether it's a good idea at all. Secondly, allocating a portion of your money into the fun bucket allows you to avoid any unexpected spikes in your finances and also creates a guilt-free living experience, which worth a lot. And last but certainly not least, investing money into your future self is something that a future you would be really grateful for. I think the easiest and the most accessible way to start is to simply put some money aside in a savings bank account, and of course there are plenty of other advanced investing strategies which I'm not going to cover in this video, but hopefully this is something you can think about now. Of course, the more income you have relative to your fundamentals, the easier and safer it is to invest. But let's say your fundamentals take 80% of your income. Where the rest 20% should go? to the fun, or to the future bucket. And personally, in this example, I think those 20% should be split evenly between the two. Even though it may seem more reasonable to invest everything you have in the future, and that's totally viable approach as well, but I think it's not really sustainable in the long run. And that's exactly why I love this concept of the 3 Fs, or sorting money into those 3 buckets, because this gives a balanced and sustainable approach. Now, having financial goals, especially ambitious one like buying a property, can be challenging. If you struggle with identifying your goals or following through, watch the video of my productivity framework. In that video, I share my approach to goal setting, explain the difference between a goal focused on the input and the outcome, and give some practical tips on how to turn your goals into actionable plan. And well, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.